Okay, so uh, the anti-natalist debate is to remove suffering in the universe by removing sentience, hence removing human sentience, hence removing logical or reasonable human sentience. And since logic and reason and rationality are all things that apparently only humans do, and only a particular subset of Western Indo-European or Semitic Oriental humans, but not necessarily the Piraha or other primitive cultures that don't currently have logic in any formal sense or reason. They don't play with negative numbers or non-existent things, the empirical cultures like the Piraha. We'd say that there is still, by removing humans, we will remove human sentience, we'll remove reason. So, along the way of ending human beings, if I was to say I was with the anti-natalists, to remove suffering, we should also begin removing reason and reasonability and logic as a necessity, because the notion that the species will come to an end one way or the other as a premise or a prediction of David Benatar, it does not require that we are reasonable or logical or sound along the way. Right? Now, if one wants to say that my pain is argument as a lingering intransitive is illogical, then I'll say that the pain is bad is historically, overtly, um, and ritualistically, habitually, it is habitual to assign pain a moral context of badness, and that's simply an inherited power structure. And so let's remove logic and reason and rationality in the name of antinatalism, because as goodness comes to its end, and as sentience comes to its end, so will these things. So if we can just cut out the middleman now, and just speak about what is, that would be great. Now, I'd like to speak about monizing. I believe monism is a more appropriate philosophy to take. I would want to put that forth and say that the Benatarian argument is simply not compatible. And it's not compatible because it requires the notion of, suggesting that the absence of pain or the presence of pain in a or the absence of pleasure or presence of pleasure of a non-existing entity has any sensibility to it. He's already breached reason by ascribing deprivation to a non-existing thing. So he's already using an intransitive and cloaking it with imagination, hence making it a lingual or imaginary transitive. So it's an abuse of an intransitive, pointing to non-existing things. And this is commonly, this has to be done for logic to overlay over that which is natural. And since biological sciences use natural language, it's a common overlay. But anyway, yeah, so the idea of consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, and addiction. We can remove reproduction because unless we're just referring to the mitosis and the reproduction of the cell, the actual reproduction in terms of offspring is not always had by individuals. We can say that cannibalism is a subset of consumption, and we can then say that consumption is something that we are addicted to, that we move to consume, towards consuming, we desire to consume, hence consumption is a subset of addiction. And I want to add animation and interaction, so now we have addiction, interaction, and animation. And I would say that when one moves desirously towards something, it is interacting with that thing, with an environment. Hence, addiction is a subset of interaction. Now, interaction is a type of movement. Interaction is a type of action, and action is a type of movement. And so that interaction is a subset of animation, and that once we become animated, we could equate that to life, that life is that which is animated that someday will no longer be animated. It'll cease to be animated. And so the monism of life is found in animation. The attributes of maintaining logic and discourse, even to the sense that we're using the technology, or the one who's following my ramble, is clearly just icing on the cake. It's not really necessary, and if one wanted to group me with the anti-natalists, let's just cut out the middleman and stop using logic the best we can. The same way that I want to say, let's just stop as much suffering as possible right now, ASAP. Right? Let's not use logic. There's really no need for it. Okay, so I'll link this to the other video where I go a little bit, where I ramble again, and then link that video to this video. And feel free to leave me all of your feedback. I will put anti-natalist like agenda to remove logic from existence as perhaps the title. Thank you.